What is a joint petition for divorce? A joint petition for divorce is one of the documents you have to file in order to get an uncontested divorce in Massachusetts. It starts the process. It's a very important document and has very important details to it. Let's talk about it. Hi, I'm attorney Paul Whalen from Afford Law. At Afford Law, we provide experienced legal help you can afford. So if you're married and unhappy, let's say you've been arguing with your spouse over money, over the kids, or whatever else it might be. It could be that you don't see eye to eye and you just know that you'd be happier on your own. You both would, and you both want out of the marriage. You want to end it amicably without stress. We can help you through the process. Filing paperwork is the first step to your new life. So a joint petition is one of 7 documents you need to file to get an uncontested divorce in Massachusetts. There are 2 more documents you'll have to file if you have children together. Before we take a look at the form, I just want to let you know that if you go to affordlaw.org/checklist, you can find a checklist of the 7 most important things you should be considering before filing for your divorce. Let's take a look at the form. Okay, so here is the joint petition for divorce. As you can see, it's a PDF with fillable fields. The first thing you want to do is go up to the top left where it has division, click on the drop-down menu, and choose the county where you're going to be getting divorced. So if you live in, let's say, Fall River, you will choose Bristol County. Over here is the docket number. You can ignore that. There is no docket number yet. The court will assign one once all the documents are filed with the court. So here we have Petitioner A and Petitioner B. So either spouse can be either Petitioner A or Petitioner B. It doesn't matter. There's no significance to that. Let's just say that you're Petitioner A. You would fill in your name here, your street address, your city and town, state, and zip code. Same thing for your spouse. Question number 1. The petitioners were lawfully married at. In this field, you put the city or town and the state where you were married. So if you were married in Boston, you would put Boston, Massachusetts. And this field right here is asking for the date of your marriage. So just click on the calendar and choose the date that you were married. The last lived together at, this is your marital address. And the last time that you lived together, you need to fill in a date. Now on this, perhaps you're still living together, you would put today's date. If someone has moved out of the house, or perhaps you've both moved out of the home, put some date around that time. You don't have to be particular about the date itself. Question number 2 lists the minor or dependent children of this marriage. So if you have minor children or children that are still dependent upon the parents, you fill in the name and the date of birth of each child. Question number 3 asks if there have been any previous actions involving your marital situation or anything with the children. So if you have filed for divorce before, if you had asked for an annulment, if there is anything to do with the children as far as custody, you would fill that in here. Most of the time, that's not applicable, and that's what you would put down, not applicable. Question number 4 is asking for the date that an irretrievable breakdown of the marriage occurred. So you would put down a date here. Again, it's difficult to put down one single day where the marriage fell apart. But you just want to put down some time when you decided that there was no longer a viable marriage for you and your spouse. You don't want to have it too close to the time of the filing because you don't want the court to think that this is sort of a whim, that you're perhaps angry at your spouse and you're trying to move on with things too quickly. So give it some thought. Try to come up with a reasonable time when the marriage broke down. So question number 5 is asking for, what do you want the court to do? So you're asking the court to do a number of things. First of all, you want to click this because you want the court to grant you a divorce on the grounds of irretrievable breakdown. The next thing you want to do is click the next one because you want the court to approve the notarized separation agreement that you and your spouse have filled out. That's one of the other forms that has to be filed with the court in order to get an uncontested divorce. Now here are two options: incorporate and merge the agreement executed by the parties, or incorporate but not merge the agreement, which shall survive. You want to choose number 2 here, the incorporate but not merge. The following things are if somebody wants to resume their former name, what used to be called their maiden name. So if somebody has changed their name when they got married and they want to go back to their original name, you would check that off, and then you would put down the name that you want to go back to. Then simply at the bottom of the form, you fill in today's date. You sign. You don't have an attorney, so you'll be signing that, printing your name and your address again, your telephone number, and you can ignore the BBO number. The BBO is the Board of Bar Overseers. That's the body that regulates attorneys, and every attorney has a number. But since you're not using an attorney, you can just leave that blank. So that's a joint petition for divorce. You both must sign it, both you and your spouse. There are several other documents that need to be filed as well. You must be in complete agreement with your spouse on all the issues to get an uncontested divorce. For more information on divorce in Massachusetts, please feel free to see our next video.